So this is my Whirligig design, and this is some of the data. So basically I started out with my basic design. I went with what was on the PDF, which was the paper model, I printed it out, cut it, and just used one tiny paper clip to secure the bottom. So that was my basic design, and when I was thinking about variables, I was thinking about maybe the weight, the size, or the material was affecting it, because what I did was I made it and then I dropped it five separate times, and I measured the amount of time it took to hit the ground and the number of spins that it had before it hit the ground. I wasn't dropping it from that high because I don't have stairs in my house, so it wasn't. It was probably about 10 feet off the ground is what it was about. But the question I ended up coming up with was, will changing the weight change the amount of spins or the time it takes to hit the ground? And I was thinking that the heavier the whirligig, that the less it will spin and the less time it'll take to hit the ground. I kind of thought those two things would stay consistent with each other. So again, I started out with my basic model, my basic design, which was this one right here, the thin paper with one paper clip. And you can kind of see that it only spun once, maybe twice, and the time was always about a minute and a half, almost, or a second and a half, almost 2 seconds. And then to change the weight, because that was the variable I was kind of focusing on, where it folds up at the bottom, I decided to put 4 pennies in there. I just went with 4 because 4 was what I could fit in there. And I actually saw something different than what my question was. I saw that yes, it did take less time to hit the ground, because obviously it was heavier, so it fell faster, but the spins went up significantly. So you can see that with four pennies just added to this, it would spin sometimes 3 or 4 times. And the time got down to close to right around a second. You didn't really see anything above a second and a half. So then I was thinking, well, how can I make this heavier? So I had, it wasn't a cereal box cardboard, it was like a thicker cardboard, like a box. And so I actually used a box cutter and used that, and it was like heavy cardboard, and it was thick too. It was like thick material. And I decided to use that with one giant paper clip at the bottom, and you can see that the spins went up again. I actually had one time I got up to 6 spins from what I could tell, and the time stayed below a second for the most part. It got right to a second on the first drop. But again, I did 5 drops for each different types of my designs, and I came up to my conclusion that the heavier the material, yes, it does drop faster, it hits the ground faster, but it spins more. So the heavier the object, the more spins you get. And these all met my criteria in different ways. Like the heavy cardboard with one paper clip definitely spun the most, whereas the thin paper clip, my basic design, kind of stayed with spinning the least and falling the slowest. But I think I was more geared towards changing that variable to get the most spins. So basically my conclusion was that the heavier the material, or the heavier the whirligig, the more spins you get, and also the faster time, of the less amount of time that it takes for it to hit the ground. But yeah, so that's it.